Okay, so I wanted to make a video about people that are contemplating having kids, creating people, um, having a baby, any of those things that you want to call it. I wanted to ask I wanted them to ask themselves some questions and then decide whether they want to have kids or not. And I just wanted people to have these questions in mind and like answer them truthfully. So I don't know how many I have here, but I guess we'll go through them one by one. So sometimes I'll refer to having children as creating humans or creating someone, creating people, because they're only going to be a child until they're 17 generally. I mean, unless you're in a different country, then the laws vary, whatever. But actually, I feel like I myself was a child until I was like, I think I still felt like a child at 20, but that's besides the point anyway. I mean, unless they're born with a mental disability that keeps them at a young age forever, they're eventually going to be adults for most of their life. So I think we should not refer to it as having a baby, because they're only a baby for a little bit. They're an adult for most of their life. Okay, anyway. So the first question is, would you show your children / human, whatever, a video of how you made them, how you created them, i.e. having sex with your partner? Because that is what you did, unless it was IVF, which is something I think is pretty disgusting, but I'm not gonna get into that right now. Besides you doing that, or having been a victim of SA, which I'm not even talking to those people right now. It's actually about people that want to be parents, okay? So I don't know why I even brought that up, but okay, so now you know. I'm only talking to people that want to be parents and want to parent a child / human with their partner, okay? So would you show your children a video of how you created them? So how you had sex with your partner, whatever day or night it was, whatever setting it was, whatever you did to conceive them at the moment of conception, which you may or not know like exactly what it was, but you might have a general idea. Okay, so that's question number 1. I personally think that's fucking disgusting, and I think the act of procreation, which is sex, I mean, unless you're with a threesome or an orgy or whatever, it's between two people, not a third person. And when you create someone, you're involving a third person. And just keep that in mind. So that's the first question. Just like really think about these questions and answer them truthfully, okay? Like, if you don't give a fuck about any of these things and you still want to create a mini-me, then okay, but at least consider these things, please. Okay, so that was number 1. I'm not gonna go by numbers because I don't know how many I have, but anyway. Okay, number 2. If you had to experience life as any random person on the planet in your next life, like let's assume reincarnation is real. If you had to experience life as some random person on the planet, so you wouldn't even know if you'd be born as a rich millionaire's kid or You know, a kid that gets abused in their life and just dies as a child. Would you still have kids if you had to experience life as some random person on the planet? Because when you're creating someone, you cannot guarantee what's going to happen to them. The possibilities they're infinite. So, even though you think you could have control over the situation of the life your human ends up living, you really don't. Even though you think you have control over their childhood, you might not. That's a true possibility here in this world. So that's number 2. Number 3, if your children turned out to be like horrible people, like people that hurt others and would even hurt you, would you regret having them? Because that's also a possibility, and it happens all the time. Okay, next one. What would you do, or how would you feel if your children died before you did? So, for example, let's say they die as a little kid because something big falls on them, like a TV. That has happened before. So, or even they get in a car accident when they're teenagers, or anything like that. How would you feel? What would you do if your children died before you did and you had to bury them in the ground? I could not live with that guilt. I cannot even imagining that, it breaks my heart. So that's why I don't want to have kids, but that's my own personal take on it. Okay, next one. Do you believe in the Christian God, like the God of the Bible? And if you do, are you okay with gambling your child's eternity in hell? Are you okay with bringing them here, them living their life and having the choice to make quote-unquote bad decisions or good ones? And if they choose the wrong ones, then they spend eternity in hell. Are you okay with that? It's either a yes or a no. If you're okay with taking that gamble, then you create them. If you're not okay, of course you won't. And it's a yes or no question. Okay. Next one. Do you understand enough about existence to bring someone else here? So, do you think you know enough about existence, the universe, reality, consciousness, which is what you are? Do you know enough about this to bring someone else here and have them experience it? Okay, the next one. Are you satisfied with any of the 18 billion other people that are here on this earth that will have to share the planet and existence with your human that you create? So, do you have enough trust in people? And most of the people on this planet, do you have the most trust in them that yes, my child will be okay here? They won't have a boss that'll take advantage of them, or they won't have someone at the mall with them that will shoot them up just for no reason. Do you have enough trust in 8 billion other people that are here with your human on this planet? I personally don't. I wouldn't even have trust in 1 billion of these humans. Obviously, they won't encounter all of them, but you just don't know which ones they will encounter. Because we all share this planet, we all share public areas and stuff like that. So, I personally wouldn't have enough trust in everyone else. Okay, next question. Do you 10 out of 10 recommend, which is 100%, recommend experiencing life on this planet in this year? So if you have a child, just think about it. You are 10 out of 10 recommending experience on this planet in this year. Even though you were born many years ago, you're recommending that they experience 2024. That's the year coming up. So, but any other year after that, you're recommending that. You are 10 out of 10 recommending experiencing life on this planet. Just think about it. 10 out of 10 recommend. How many things in your daily life do you 10 out of 10 recommend? Because I can't even think of one. Every product or whatever, I would never give a 10 out of 10 recommend. Mostly because, I don't know what's gonna fucking happen with whatever product that I recommend, you know? So why would I give a 10 out of 10 recommend? You do realize when you have a child on this planet, when you create a human that will be an adult for most of their life, you are saying, yes, I 10 out of 10, 100% recommend existence on this planet. That's what you're saying. That's what every parent has, whether they've not thought of it or anything, it's still what they mean, you know? Because they're creating someone that they say they love with all their heart. So that's just another question, that's probably my favorite question. Okay, next one. Do you have kids to continue the human race? Because you cannot guarantee that your offspring will even continue the lineage. So even if you do have kids because you don't want the human race to die out, or you want all these good things to happen on Earth, you can't guarantee that your children are going to continue having kids. So that's just something to consider. Okay. Next one. 1 in 2 people will get cancer. I just looked that up yesterday. So 50% of people are going to get cancer in their lifetime. Are you okay with this risk? You either answer yes or no. And then you have kids or not. You create people or not. You're either okay with 1 in 2 people will get cancer in their lifetime. You're either okay with that risk or you're not. Okay, next one. If your child turns out to be antinatalist one day, how would that make you feel? So, if your children think it's immoral to bring someone else here and to have kids, create people, how would that make you feel? Next one. Do you think the earth will be a suitable place to live in the next 100 years? And what are you doing to maintain the earth for your offspring and entire possible lineage for the years to come? Like, are you an environmentalist? Like, are you trying to take care of the earth? Are you, like, what are you doing to ensure that your lineage, your humans that you created, which you'll be responsible for every one of them after your son or daughter or whatever, you will be responsible for that. So what are you doing to maintain the earth for them? All right, next one. What are the best pleasures in life that you would like your human to experience? So, such as sexual experiences. Do you want them to get fucked or fuck? Like, which I think is pretty gross, like, to think about that. I could never think, like, even thinking about my own siblings, like, having sex. That is like a it's so weird to think about that and uncomfortable. But when you're having kids, I mean, you know sex was something fun and enjoyable. So obviously you want them to experience that too. Like, thinking about that is fucking disgusting in my opinion. Like, I can't even think about my siblings having their own sexual experience. And when you bring a human here, obviously you think they're gonna have sex one day and experience the, like, those kinds of joys and stuff. Which I think is kind of disgusting to think about that, but I mean, that's just me. But and what other experiences, like, what are the best things in life that you can offer them, you know? Like being in love or laughing, experiencing art, sunsets. How many pleasures in life can you name? Can you name 100, 1,000, more than that? Okay, next question. Is it ethical or moral to create a sentient being? So just think about this. For example, there is a rock on the floor. It's just a rock, okay? It doesn't experience pleasure, pain. It doesn't experience music or, you know, any other things we experience. Would you bring it to life, put an expiration date on that rock just to make it a sentient being? Like, what do you think? Yeah, this is a great idea. I want to bring this rock into existence so it can experience the human experience. Do you think that's ethical? I don't. I would never do that, and the thought of that horrifies me. But that's something to think about. Okay. Next question. If your human ends up not liking their human experience, what will you say to them? Or what will you do to comfort them? Because obviously if you love them, you're gonna try to comfort them. But what are you gonna say if they say, Mom, Dad, why the fuck did you bring me here? Like, this is so mediocre. It's not worth it. What would you say to them? Alright, next question. What is the best thing you can offer your human once they're here? So I'm guessing, like, the answer to this question would be love. And unless I'm wrong, I can't think of anything else. Like, that's the best thing you can offer them once they're here. But that's one question. Okay. Next question. If sex/procreation was painful instead of orgasmic, would you still create one or more humans? So would you still bring someone into existence on this planet if everything else was the same, but it's just that sex was painful, and instead of orgasmic and felt so good, would you still bring someone else here? And that was like the only difference about this theoretical view. Like, if that was the only difference, that sex was painful instead of orgasmic, would you still create one or more humans? Alright. Obviously, I wouldn't. Hell no. Alright, next question. Your human will die one day. The most common ways that people die are heart disease, cancer, heart attack, infection, illness. Are you okay with this? Either you are or you're not. Also, freak accidents too, which are too horrific to list here, but are you okay with any of these ways of your child dying? Either it's a yes or a no. You bring them here or you don't. Alright, next question. If you had to pay for your human's basic essentials, such as housing, food, water, hygiene, which all those are basic essentials, would you still have them? So if you had to pay for their housing, food, water, hygiene for the rest of their life, would you still have them? Obviously I wouldn't, because I don't have enough money for even myself. So okay, next one. Would you yourself be okay with and volunteer being born with any of the hundreds of disabilities that people are born with, such as cerebral palsy, intellectual disability, deafness, blindness, Tourette's, schizophrenia, muscular dystrophy, facial or body disformities, Down syndrome, any of those things? If that was required to having creating a human, would you still have them? If you had to volunteer in your next life to be born like that. Something to keep in mind. Because I put that question in here because, I mean, there's people born with things that are wrong with them all the time. So either you would be okay with being born as them or not, which is a possibility when you create someone. Alright, next one. Do you want your human that you create to suffer and die? Which are the only things guaranteed in this life. So either, yes, you want your human to suffer and die. Obviously also experience good things if available. So you either want them to suffer and die, and you create them, or you don't. Alright, almost done here. Alright, I already guessed that one. Okay. Oh yeah, this next one's about adoption. Will you or have you considered adopting an already existing child that is in need right now? Are you okay with ignoring them or not trying to adopt them to create a human with your own DNA? So, are you okay with ignoring the 500,000 children in the foster system just to create someone with your own DNA? Or maybe you don't have enough money to adopt someone. That means you probably don't have enough money to create someone of your own. But I just wanted to ask this one because if you want to have a child, you could have one right now if you haven't already tried to adopt. Most people don't consider adoption at all. So that was that was important that I wanted to add in here. Like, are you okay with ignoring all of the 500,000 children in need? Maybe even more. Yeah, actually, that's only in the US, so there's more across the planet. Are you okay with ignoring them and just creating a human with your own DNA? And that was just the last question I had thought of. If anyone thinks of any more questions to ask people that want to become parents and create a human, please put them down below if you think of anything else, or if you have any comments on this. Okay, that's all I wanted to say. Bye.